Whereas Type 5 detaches to conserve energy, Type 7 engages in planning for positive opportunities that keep life energized and minimize limitations. 7s bring enthusiasm, inventive ideas, and a charming egalitarian flair to their leadership. Their optimism allows them to minimize the impact of painful experiences. However, their attention to stimulating options may divert them from making necessary commitments, and their attempts to avoid negativity may limit them from full involvement with life.
Well, I thought I was a 6 because I resonated so much with the connection between the intellect and fear. But on further study, I realized that the way that I handle fear is by looking for all of the alternatives that can sort of keep me out of things that might go wrong in the future, and particularly pleasurable alternatives. I'm always looking for a way to see wherever it is we want to get as a positive in the eyes of the people that I'm trying to motivate. I don't like putting a stake in the ground. I don't like closing down alternatives, and many times a decision looks to me like closing down an alternative. And so I have had a tendency in the past to try and get other people to make decisions. In other words, I'll try and frame the decision, but then get somebody else to make it. I think partly I'm trying to avoid responsibility for the eventual decision. I always considered authority to be somehow suspect because people were doing it for selfish reasons. But I realize that that's one of the things that I'm called upon to do as my support of the organization. But it's not comfortable for me. I look for that clever way in which the conflict dissolves. I'm always looking for a positive way out of a conflict situation. However, I would say that over the last year or two, I've come to realize that in certain situations, what's called for and, in fact, what's expected by other people is my standing up to a conflict. My style is to support an investigation of what's behind whatever the situation that we're dealing with. If it's a problem or an opportunity, I try to get people to sort of open up to a variety of possibilities, particularly early in dealing with a situation, such that we don't close down avenues just because we've jumped to a conclusion. And so I find that I'm trying to help people look deeper into a situation and what the possibilities for the future might be before analyzing those and determining which is going to be the optimal one. And I try to support, as I say, to get people to look at that because it's going to be valuable to them to see what these alternate possibilities might be. One of the things that I'm constantly looking for is to get people a way to see change that's necessary, change that's beneficial. And the way that people are going to relate to that is going to be different depending on how they see the world, how they pay attention to the world. Fundamentally, I think that risk is an issue of spreading your risks. You need to take risks in order to change and to keep up, but you can't put all your eggs in one basket. I've worked for Xerox in the research organization for 22 years. For the first 10 years, I worked as an individual contributor researcher, and it was like getting paid to do your hobby. It was more than joy in your work. It was an unreal, wonderful situation. All we did every day, we came in and we tried to do something that had never been done before. And the people we worked for said, well, what do you need to support you in that? We'll buy it for you. And then they paid me at the end of the day. It was incredible. Becoming a manager and becoming an authority figure, becoming responsible for those things, having to interact with corporate processes, having to fill out documentation and stuff, I didn't like nearly as much as I liked doing computer science research. And it was a big step for me. I did not enjoy that for a long time. Now I feel like I'm back in the position of trying to accomplish something that's never been accomplished before. And while the stakes are bigger now, and so there's a little more kind of fear and risk associated with it, I'm back to where I do enjoy my work. I would say that even if I became independently wealthy, I would say I would do a good 75% of what I do today because I find it engaging. Keep looking for ways to keep the positive into the situation, to emphasize the positive aspects of a situation so that other people can see the reasons to follow your leadership, not just because you're the one in charge or you're the one writing performance appraisals, but rather because you're the one that's supporting them seeing the positive possibilities in the future.
The leadership development task for Type 7 is to sustain optimism, positive plans, and possibilities while meeting commitments and accepting limitations.